Okay. We're gonna have. Where's our other camera person? Do we have another camera person?
Yeah, those two.
Oh, okay. All right, we're gonna do it with that camera though.
Yeah.
Okay. Right out here. Right in front of our table, like.
Everyone, and if you're just tuning in.
Actually, I don't care. Bernie, what do you think?
I'll face this way. You hold the mic that way.
Bernie, what do you think? Hello. This is on, so. If at any time this wireless goes, obviously let the camera person know, and then we'll plug in the cable. But hey, did you win anything with those tickets? You get 10%, so he owes you $2.
$2.
How many tickets were there? Do you know?
Oh, there's a pack about this thick.
Oh wow!
Yeah, there's about 35 tickets.
Wow.
I think, in a pack.
Only one was $20. That's a ripoff.
Yeah.
Wow.
Now I don't feel bad about getting rolling.
Yeah, really. All right. Roger has to go back. You like that? You like that?
Where's your shirts?
They got the jackets tonight. That'll be next. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Good evening and welcome to the Beardsworth Gonzalez Gym. We've got high school basketball tonight here on New Bedford Educational Access Television. It's the New Bedford High Whalers against the St. John's Prep Eagles. I'm Keith Tebow, joined by Bernie Picanisco. And Bernie, Whalers started out the season hot, 8-0. They've stumbled their last two games, so a little cause of concern maybe?
Well, I think anytime you lose 2 games in a row and you're as good as this team is, it's cause for concern. But you have to go back and look and see that in both games they were missing a starting player. I think they got run over in Brockton, and that was probably more of a revenge game than anything else because they had done the same thing to the Boxers here.
Whalers in the latest Boston poll still ranked number 1 coming into the week. That'll probably change after they lost Monday to Brockton. St. John's Prep ranked 8th. They got something that the Whalers have faced a lot this year. They've got bigger players and size over the Whalers.
Yeah, they got some big guys. A couple of twin towers, 6'7" Max Simus, and he's a good one. 1,000-point scorer in the league, and at the same time, he's a kid that will run the court. On the other side, they've also got Ryan Riley, who's 6'7", and he's a sophomore, and he's a tough kid. He's a kid that likes to bang bodies, likes to post up down low, so it's going to be interesting to see how New Bedford handles the Twin Towers.
And it'll be interesting to see if the Whalers can rebound after those 2 losses. I think this is a very key game where probably Coach Eddie Roderick wasn't looking at that as early as a week ago.
It is a key game. There's no way that Eddie wants to lose 3 games in a row. I think that he's got his kids prepared. He's got everybody back healthy. They're going to be ready to run the floor. And this is a classic matchup because you've got a half-court basketball team for St. John's Prep in the blue uniforms behind us here. They're going to want to play a set offense. They're a half-court team. On the other side, you got the guys that want to run and gun and play that playground game. So it's going to be a lot of fun.
Catholic Conference against the Big Three, and we'll have the opening tip-off coming up in just a moment.
This is David.
Oh, hi.
This is what David's done. David went to college. Annapolis. David taught himself to play piano, the sax, even the bagpipes. Well, maybe not the bagpipes. David was NBA Rookie of the Year. He's also been to the Olympics twice. David even became a naval officer. David's sure done a lot. But you know one thing David's never done?
Drugs.
David doesn't do drugs. Maybe that's why he's done so much.
Both teams going through their final preparations as we get set for this matchup between the New Bedford High Whalers and the St. John Prep Eagles. The Eagles, Bernie, as we said, come in at 7-1. They are ranked 8th in the paper polls in the Boston area, and they're from the Catholic Conference, and they're really, really strong. And they've got some not only height, but they've also got some wide bodies.
Yeah, they certainly do. They're a good, strong, big team, and I think that's one of the reasons why the coach of this team has had them playing this half-court basketball game. You're not going to usually be greyhounds running up and down the court when you're as big as these guys are. As we said, a couple of kids that are 6'7", a 6'4" gentleman by the name of Mark Kalura, who's also a senior, will get a chance to see a lot of action. They also have Dustin Arnold, who comes off their bench, number 44. He's a senior and is 6'6", 215 pounds. So they've got some real big kids up there, and as we said, you're going to see them try to slow the game down and keep it in a half-court mode.
And the Whalers coming off their 2 losses in a row. They lost to Holyoke last Saturday night by a score of 69-65 in a game which was really an exciting game. It was controversial at the end when there was an out-of-bounds call with Holyoke having the ball. I happened to be here. It looked like that it went off a Holyoke player. The referees saw it otherwise and gave the ball to Holyoke. And just to let you know, that referee took a lot of you-know-what from the fans, and he's here tonight.
All right, good for him.
So we were talking before the game with some of our colleagues in radio, and they were saying, I think the Whalers are going to get a few calls tonight. And we'll have to wait and see. But their other loss to Brockton on Monday was a total shellacking by, I believe it was 79-44, with Brockton winning that Big 3 matchup.
Well, that, to me, that was sort of like one of those revenge games. Brockton, when they left here, got beat by about 35 points the night they came in here. They were without one of their better players who was off that particular night. And I'll tell you what, it looked, you could see it when they walked off the court. They had thoroughly been beaten by the Whalers. And I'll bet you they were sitting and waiting on that one, waiting for the Whalers to come in. And then, of course, as irony would have it, Eddie's team shows up without one of their starters. And of course, that means that they take full advantage and just run them right into the ground.
Both losses, they were without one of their starters. At the Holyoke game, the Whalers were without Isaiah Hauptman, who was still bothered a little bit with an Achilles heel injury. And on Monday, they were without Jared Ramos, and they're both back in the lineup tonight for the Whalers. Speaking of the lineup, let's go over the lineups for both teams. For the St. John's Prep Eagles, in the backcourt, you'll see Matt Forlizzi, number 3, and Ryan Leahy, one of the co-captains, number 11. Up front, you'll see at the forwards, Mark Kalura and Ryan Riley, and Matt Symes will be the center. For the Whalers, of course, in the backcourt, number 11, Mark Petula, number 21, Jared Ramos. At the center spot, number 25, Blair Ramos. And the 2 forwards will be Isaiah Hauptman and Dante Balistracci. So the Whalers at full strength for the first time in about a week. And they've had a busy schedule, Bernie, this week. They're playing 4 times over the last 7 days.
Yeah, and it should be interesting to see how they react to this game, Keith. For one thing that we haven't talked about, this game is getting started later than it should have because of the bus breaking down for St. John's Prep on the way down from Danvers, Mass. So the JV game was cut short, but we're not getting this game underway until about 7:55 game time here. And these guys have been shooting around and shooting around. And as one of our radio cohorts said, how long can you just keep standing around, shooting around, waiting for the game to start?
Well, apparently it was successful as the JV team beat St. John's Prep 49-21. So it did work as the color guard prepares to make their way onto the court. We'll be getting set for our national anthem. Decent crowd here at the Beardsworth-Gonzalez Gym for a Thursday evening. As we said, a little bit later than normal. And now we will have our national anthem. Both teams set to get underway. National anthem is over with. And we're ready for basketball here at the Beardsworth Gonzalez Gym. Whalers hoping to snap a 2-game losing streak in which, as we said earlier, they lost a tight one to Holyoke from Western Massachusetts. And, you know, I had a chance to see them, Bernie, the other night. They are the real deal. They have an excellent basketball team out there. And, of course, the Brockton Boxers beating the Whalers the other night.
I heard they were a good team. You're going to see some different things tonight. As we said, a classic matchup. St. John's Prep likes that half-court game. They love to pound the ball inside, and their post player is a very good player in Symes. And, of course, on the New Bedford side, motion offense, run when they can, and try to create offense off the defensive trapping that has become so, I guess, so much of a symbol of New Bedford High basketball over the years.
Blair Ramos and Matt Symes will jump off at center court, and this non-conference matchup for both teams is underway. Tip is controlled by the Eagles. This is Ryan Leahy. He'll be the point guard in the matchup, and the Whalers are in a man-to-man defense to start things off. Leahy has it stolen away by Jared Ramos, and the Whalers have the lead.
Well, you see Ramos that time play him to his left as they'll go into a full court press now. We'll see how they handle the press.
Riley over for Lizzie, and now into the forecourt. That's Kalura. He'll take the pull-up jumper, and it won't go. Symes for the rebound. No good. They're going to call foul over the back, and I believe it's going to be on the big man, Symes.
Well, Symes going for the backboard that time, going for the ball, committing the foul in an aggressive manner. So his first foul, we heard he's a little soft. That time he went hard to the rack.
First team foul, and first foul on the center for St. John's Prep. Jared Ramos comes back the other way, tries to weave through, loses control. Leahy has it. Over to Lizzie. Lizzie, alley-oop to Symes. It can't go. Riley with the rebound. That won't go. He puts it back up. Still can't get it. And it's taken down by Dante Balistracci. Whalers come back the other way, and Isaiah Houtman stepped on the baseline, sideline, out of bounds.
Well, a careless turnover that time by Isaiah.
And the Prep take over. We've played a minute and stolen away by Isaiah. Isaiah then loses it out of bounds.
Well, he made up for it by coming up with the great steal, and then once again lost the ball out of bounds. 3 turnovers for the Whalers, 2 here for St. John's Prep in the early going.
And the Whalers are going to play 3-quarter court press right now as Lizzie will inbounds the ball and gets it back. He gets double teamed and gives it over to Leahy. Riley, pass inside Kalura. Riley gets it back. He's fought for, and there's going to be a foul underneath. It's going to be on the Whalers. It's going to be on Blair Ramos.
Well, Blair Ramos is the one guy you don't want to have get in foul trouble tonight if you're a Whalers fan. He's 6'6", and they're going to need him out there to help out off the backboards with the 2 twin towers.
Ryan Riley, 6'7", junior, and he makes the first free throw. Two to 1 the score, just underway. And he makes 1 of 2, and Blair Ramos comes down with the rebound. Whalers come back the other way. It's stolen away by Leahy. Leahy up against Fatula, puts up the shot. It's good, and there is a foul.
Well, you see Ryan Leahy that time go to the left hand and hang in the air. Not too surprising because the scouting report on him tells us that he is a left-hander, and you'll see him go to his left side more often than his right side. That's the reason why Blair Ramos came up with that first original steal. He was playing him right to the side that he likes to go to.
Leahy will attempt to complete the 3-point play. He does not. Symes there for the rebound and the putback.
Now this team is playing with a lot of confidence. Symes coming up with the offensive rebound and nailing the basket. They've won 7 in a row coming into this.
5-2, the Eagles on top. They're in a zone as the Whalers have the basketball. Fatula swings it around to Isaiah at the top. Looking to go inside, but Blair Ramos is double teamed. He gets the ball inside, turnaround jumper, gets the roll.
A nice move there in the low post by Blair Ramos. Little drop step turnaround to the inside, coming up with the baseline jumper.
And the Eagles throw it out of bounds. Another turnover.
3rd turnover now for St. John's Prep.
Whalers gain the basketball. We've played 2 minutes here in the first half. St. John's on top 5-4. Dante up high. Now in the corner to Jared Ramos, who'll pull up for the three. It's no good. Blair Ramos with the rebound and the putback.
Oh, Blair came to play tonight.
6-5, Whalers on top. And they pressure, and the Prep breaks the press. Leahy finally brings it under control. Gives it to Kalora on the wing. Now cross court to Forlizzi. He takes the short jumper.
Good shooting team, that's what we heard coming in. This St. John's Prep team can nail the jumper, and so far they haven't disappointed.
Blair Ramos has a shot blocked by Symes, and Leahy has it. 7-6 to Prep on top, and Riley traveled.
Well, right now, I'm not sure if it's the defensive pressure or just everybody trying to get their basketball legs after waiting so long to start the game, but we've had some real careless early turnovers.
Well, St. John's Prep, which is about an hour, hour and a half away from here, actually had problems with their bus. Their bus broke down, so they arrived late, and they're going to get home later than what they would normally get home tonight. Whalers turn the ball over. The Prep has it now. Forlizzi looks to inbound it. He does. This is Mark Kalora. Kalora looks to drive. He's double teamed. Symes has it now. Pass inside to Riley. They're going to call a 3-second violation on the Prep.
Well, another turnover. That's 5 turnovers now for the Eagles of St. John's Prep, and they lead by 1 point.
Whalers looking to set up an half-court offense. Dante has it down low. Symes is defending. Makes a move off the glass and banks it in.
Good strong move inside that time by Dante, turning to the right side and banking it off the window.
8-7. Whalers back on top. Leahy comes back the other way, high off the glass and in.
Ryan Leahy that time, not afraid to challenge the New Bedford defender and taking that ball right to the rack.
9-8. Eagles on top. Ramos turnaround jumper off the back of the rim, no good. Forlizzi comes down with the rebound. Outlet pass to Leahy. He will slow it down. Pass back inside. Riley can't get it to fall. Symes with the rebound. No good. Tipped up. And Isaiah Hauptman comes down with the rebound. Jared Ramos drives baseline. Passes over to Dante. Short jumper, good.
Well, Dante's going to find himself in a position to hit a lot of short jumpers underneath because St. John's Prep keeps rotating to the basketball, and he's the man on the weak side.
Whalers steal the ball. Isaiah can't get the bounce. Blair Ramos with the rebound, puts it up, no good, tipped out. Fatula has it. Now Jared will take the short jumper, it won't go. Ball is taken down on the rebound by Riley. 10-9 as teams have exchanged baskets. Shot up by Leahy is short, no good. They're going to call a jump ball, and it's going to go to the Whalers. First substitution for both teams as Aaron Campini enters the game for the Whalers. And Dustin Arnold, another tall guy, 6'6" senior, comes in for St. John's Prep.
Mark Fatula getting a rest, going over to the sideline to the bench, and Coach Eddie Roderick's talking to him.
Also in the game for the Prep, Brian Condro, number 21.
Well, coming into this game, we heard that Matt Symes, the senior, was a 1,000-point scorer who works hard to get in position, is what they're saying. But they're also saying that he was a little soft. Doesn't look that way tonight.
Whalers have the 1-point lead in the basketball with 11 minutes and 20 seconds left in the first half. Prep playing man-to-man pass inside. Dante has the shot blocked, but he was also fouled by Ryan Riley.
A personal foul has been charged to the Eagles' Ryan Riley.
Oh, for Ryan Riley, that's his first personal foul, and that's the second on the team.
Dante will be on the line to shoot 2. Both teams have 2 team fouls, and Dante misses the first shot.
Dante with 4 points, hit his first 2 field goals from the floor before missing his last shot.
Second one bounces off the rim and in. 11-9, Whalers with a 2-point lead. Whalers now on a 3/4 court press, and the Prep nearly throws it away. They regain the basketball, and they break the press. Bounce pass inside. Shot is up and in by Arnold.
Well, Dustin Arnold was putting on a show before the game with a lot of dunks.
Dante comes back the other way for another bucket. Dante has scored the Whalers' last 7 points. Whalers with a 2-point lead.
And again, right after a basket, you'll see the Whalers going to their full court trap, trying to harass the basketball.
Kalura nearly puts in a shot that was intended to be a pass. And Arnold gets the rebound and he's fouled.
That's a tough call right there because Aaron Campini had his hands down low where you want him to be when a big guy's getting a rebound and going back up with it. It looked like he got all ball, but immediately the first reaction by the official was to call the foul when he saw that Arnold was had that little grimace of pain on his face.
Dustin Arnold will shoot 2. Front rims the first one. Leahy and Symes re-enters the ball game for St. John's, as does Anthony Ford.
And number 33, Matt Symes, will re-enter the ball
And
game.
sitting out will be Kolora and Kundro. Dustin cannot make neither one. Symes tips up the rebound, no good, and saved by Blair Ramos.
Good hustle
Whalers
play.
come back the other way and have it stripped away, stolen away. And then St. John's Prep throws the ball away and the Whalers get it back.
Now matching turnovers.
Campini over to Isaiah. Isaiah looking for the screen. It's set by Balistracci. Puts up the shot, no good. And Symes comes down with the rebound. Arnold, now Leahy up high for Lizzie. Drives, puts up a shot. It won't go, but there's a foul on the play. Against the Whalers, it's going to be on Dante Balistracci.
Bedford's Dante Balistracci, his first personal
Well, that's his
foul.
first personal foul and the fourth foul against the Whalers.
St. John's Prep, Matt Forlizzi at the free throw line, 2 shots.
That for Lizzie on the line to shoot 2. And he makes the first.
This man's had a pretty good year for Coach Dan Letarte. Pretty good three-point shooter. He's a junior, 6'1", 180-pound guard.
Makes them both, and we have a tie ball game.
Very solid player.
At 13, under 10 minutes left in the first half. Whalers in the front court. As Arnold steals the ball, there's also going to be a foul, and it's going to be on Arnold. That's going to be the 3rd team foul against the Eagles.
Justin Arnold, his first personal foul, that's the 3rd team foul on St. John's Prep.
Campini gets the inbounds pass. Jared Ramos in the corner for 3.
Like a layup.
Jared Ramos.
16-13. Whalers up by 3.
And again, they pressure the basketball after the made basket, but not getting into defensive position quick enough.
Ball knocked out of bounds. It will stay with St. John's Prep. And Ryan Leahy will inbounds the ball. And Forlizzi takes it out deep. Ball blocked away and the Whalers get it. This is Jared Ramos. Misses the bucket. Gets his own rebound and can't make it again. Tries for a 3rd rebound and he is fouled.
Well, that time Jared Ramos just rushed his shot. He rushed the layup. Didn't have to. He had really, it was a 2-on-1. He had an open layup, but rushed it a little bit and banked it hot off the glass. And the second time when he got the rebound, it looked like he thought he had some defensive pressure on him. And again, he just had an easy jumper from the side.
Ryan Leahy with the foul for St. John's Prep.
Correction, no shot.
Actually, they're going to say it was not a shooting foul, so the Whalers will get the ball under their own basket as Gerald Wills enters the ball game for the first time tonight for New Bedford.
Wills will give Blair Ramos an opportunity to catch his breath because he's got a lot of work to do yet before this game's over.
Jared Ramos will inbounds the ball. Isaiah Hauptman. Bounce pass inside to Wills. He loses control. Leahy comes back, puts it up off the glass and in.
Nice little reverse layup from the opposite side with the right hand by Ryan Leahy. He's got 6 points on the night.
And it's 16-15, the Whalers up by a point. Isaiah from just off the free throw line has the ball partially blocked. Coming back the other way, this is Ford. And St. John's Prep retakes the lead.
Anthony Ford.
17-16, Campini for 3, outside, no good. Ball on the floor, Dante gets it back. As he goes up for the shot, he is fouled by Mark Kalura.
Dante working hard underneath, as we said. He's on that weak side and doing a good job of establishing position down low to rebound. Dante's not a great leaper, but he gets good position, uses his body well, very strong under the backboard.
Dante makes his first free throw. John Silva enters the ball game for the Whalers. He will replace Isaiah Hauptman.
Dante now with 8 points, and that's tops for the Whalers.
And Dante makes them both. 18-17, New Bedford back on top. Double teamed, and the Prep break the press. This is Ryan Leahy.
And you'll see them going to their half-court offense. Look for the post player down low.
Arnold is the post player, and he gets it inside and scores the bucket.
Trying to force New Bedford to play their game and play a half-court basketball game, and thus far, that's exactly what they're doing. New Bedford into their motion offense.
They're going to call traveling on Jared Ramos. Took the step before he put the ball on the floor.
Tempo in a basketball game is so important. You want to play at your tempo, and if you're the Whalers, you want this game to be a little bit quicker paced than this.
Mark Colora will inbound the ball for St. John's. Whalers will set up on defense. Symes inside Arnold. Bullet pass inside to Ford. He's fouled by John Silva as he went up for the shot.
Great pass inside there from the high post to the low post, man, from Dustin Arnold. Inside it went to number 4, and that's Anthony Ford. It's nice when you got a 6'7" kid passing to a 6'5" kid, huh?
You get a 6'6" kid on the bench. And Ford makes the first free throw. Prep now up by 2. And cannot make the second. 2-point Prep lead, 22-18. Nearly stolen away. And the referee's going to say he stepped on the sideline as Colora tried to call timeout as his momentum was sending him out of bounds, but couldn't do it in time.
That's about the 4th time tonight we've had double turnovers back to back.
Whalers with the basketball. Dante. Gerald Wills now up high. Dante in the corner, looks to drive, he can't do it. 15 on the shot clock. Jared drives, won't go. Ball is up, and there's going to be a foul on the play. And it's going to be against Dante Balistracci.
Well, that'll be his 2nd personal foul now, and that'll also be the 6th personal foul on the Whalers.
Fatula, Blair Ramos, and Isaiah Hauptman enter the ball game. Dante Balistracci, Aaron Campini, and John Silva sit out. St. John's Prep with a 2-point lead, 7:25 left to go here in the first half.
And playing it at their tempo, Keith, as Ryan Leahy's walking it up court, looking for the half-court offense.
Colora will take the 3, no good. Mock Fatula gets the rebound. And Isaiah Hauptman traveled.
Well, again, a little bit of carelessness there on the part of Isaiah. Looking for the man down in the low post and took that extra baby step.
One of the things that the Whalers hampered them in their game against Brockton, Bruni, was they were lethargic and they couldn't get into the ball game, and it looks like they're having a little bit of a problem right now.
Well, I think what's happening right now is that St. John's Prep, you got to give them some credit. They're dictating the tempo of the game, and that can make the Whalers look lethargic because this is not their game.
Whalers steal the ball. Jared Ramos inside to Isaiah. It won't go, and he's fouled.
It's a nice pass that time by Jared Ramos right along the baseline. Had Isaiah threaded the needle to get him the basketball, and Isaiah draws the foul. Getting back to what I was saying, Keith, sometimes the opposing defense can just take you right out of your game and make you look lethargic. Now, I didn't see that game against Brockton, and they're not usually known as a half-court offense. But this team is a well-disciplined team, the St. John's Prep team, and right now they're dictating the tempo of this game. New Bedford is playing their game, that half-court offense game.
First point for Isaiah Hauptman as he makes the first free throw. Dante Balistracci back in the ball game for the Whalers, as is Ryan Riley, and now Matt Forlizzi for the Prep.
The Whalers want to try to get to a point where they can come down court hit a couple of jumpers and go right into their pressing full court defense and create some turnovers.
1 of 2 for Isaiah. 20-19. St. John's on top. And the Whalers steal the ball away. Jared Ramos over to Isaiah. Pull-up jumper off the backboard, no good, out of bounds. It will go to St. John's Prep.
Now, right now, Isaiah Hauptman is cold. He's 0 for 3 from the floor and 1 for 2 from the foul line. Had some good open shots.
Eagles break the press for Lizzie. Now inside, that's Riley, puts it up and in.
Eagle field goal scored by Ryan Riley.
Ryan Riley with his first 2 points of the night, just a quick roll of the basket.
Blair Ramos inside, spin move, can't get it to fall, and for Lizzie gets the rebound. St. John's content to just slow things down, set up their offense. This is Colora, he will cut. Won't go. Riley with the big rebound.
You got to box him out. You can't, you cannot allow guys that are 6'5", 6'6", 6'7" have a clear lane to the basket. And that time Riley was just not blocked out at all.
It's a 5-point St. John's lead, 24-19. Fatula will go for the 3. It won't go. Leahy gets the rebound but has it stolen away by Isaiah Hauptman. Blair Ramos' shot is blocked by Destin Arnold. St. John's comes back the other way. For Lizzie for 3, has the ball swatted away, but Jared Ramos will be called with the foul. Well, I don't know if that was a 3-shot. It is. It's going to be a 3-shot foul.
I was just about to say that, Keith. Well, it looks to me like Eddie Rogers not a happy camper. Now you've got the man going to the foul line. He calls timeout for 3 shots being fouled in three-point land. And you can see a lot of little things are breaking down with the Whalers in this particular game. I did not see the 2 games that they lost. I was a little surprised that they got beat by Brockton. Not too surprised about Holyoke, although I did think they'd win that game. But I'll tell you, you can see a lot of little breakdowns here tonight. They're just not focusing, not paying attention to the basketball like they did for the first 5 or 6 games that we saw. Too many turnovers, too many careless little moves, stepping on the sideline, stepping on the end line, forcing shots down low. When the offense becomes, for New Bedford, a half-court post-up offense, going to Blair Ramos underneath for offense, or trying to kick it back outside for a jump shot, they're in trouble. I mean, that's not their offense. Their offense is geared around how hard they really concentrate on playing defense and create turnovers so they can run with the basketball and wear the other team down.
So as we resume, St. John's Prep will be shooting 3 free throws. As they make some substitutions into the ball game again is Brian Kundro, number 21. And Matt Forlizzi will be on the line to shoot 3 with his team leading by 5 points.
Forlizzi, as we said the last time he was at the line, a good, solid shooter.
Rattles home the first.
He's 3 for 3 from the foul line tonight. Good 3-point shooter, as we said earlier, and a guy the coach really likes. Calls him one of his key players and someone they like to play off of.
Misses the second.
Well, I know if I kept saying over and over again that he was a good foul shooter, it might work.
So does that mean when the Whalers are on the line, you're going to say they're awful? I don't think so. Forlizzi will shoot his 3rd.
Come hunting for me if I do that.
I know. And he makes only 1 of 3.
There you go.
Fatula with the rebound.
Boy, did I jinx that kid.
25-19, 6-point St. John's Prep lead.
All right, Whalers still trying to run that motion offense, and when they do that, they usually try to get the ball either down low or get it to Jared Ramos.
They do down low to Gerald Wills, and he hits the bucket. 25-21.
Here we go with the pressure defense now. Now you got to come to the basketball. Now you see, not quick enough there. Didn't get to the basketball quick enough as Jared kind of just sat back.
Whalers in a zone defense as Kundro has it now to Riley. Riley attempted pass, went off the backboard, and Fatula comes down with it. Whalers down by 4. Isaiah. Lob pass inside to Gerald Wills, and his shot is no good, but there's a foul on the play. It will go against St. John's, and it will go against
personal
Ryan
foul has
Riley.
been charged to
A good lead pass that time from Isaiah Hauptman to Gerald Wills, trying to get Wills to roll to the basket, come up, set the pick, and then do the old pick and roll to the hoop. And Wills had a clear lane to the basket for a second there, but was picked up defensively, drew the foul.
Wills on the line for 2, makes the first.
For the Eagles, number 11, Ryan Leahy is back in the ball game.
Ryan Leahy back in the ball game.
Replacing Mike
Gerald
McCoy.
Wills has done a nice job for the Whalers the last couple of years coming off the bench and really coming in and giving the Whalers some offense, some rebounding, some solid play.
Wills will shoot his second free throw, and he's perfect. 25-23. Whalers have cut the lead to 2.
This is their half-court trap. The Whalers do a 1-3-1 after a foul shot's made.
Symes hits the short jumper.
St. John's Prep didn't have any problems with it at all. Symes with the second basket of the night.
27-23. Whalers move the ball around. And Isaiah Hauptman fouled in the backcourt by Mark Colora. Both teams are in the penalty, so
Personal foul has been
Isaiah
charged
Hauptman will be on the line to shoot 1 and 1.
Mark Colora, that's his second personal foul.
Second foul on Colora, and that's the 8th foul on the team on the St. John's Prep Eagles.
Whalers, Isaiah Hauptman at the free throw line, shooting 1+1.
That's 2, isn't it?
1+1.
1+1. You hear Bob Huckabee's voice in the background, the PA announcer.
He misses the first one, but Gerald Wills gets the rebound. They're going to call foul on the floor. It's going to be against Riley again.
Eagles, Ryan Riley, that's his third personal
Third foul on Riley.
19th foul at the half on St. John's
And
Prep.
Dustin Arnold is getting set to come in for St. John's Prep. And Riley will sit out.
Dustin Arnold.
Now, Riley's a guy they don't want to lose. He's only a sophomore, but he's 6'7", 210 pounds, and he's a guy that's the true post player on this team. He really goes after, likes to bang, one of those bangers underneath.
Gerald Wills makes his first free throw. He'll have another. He has scored the Whalers' last 5 points.
Wills is perfect, 3 for 3 from the foul line, 1 for 1 from the floor.
And still perfect from the free throw line. It's a 2-point lead. 27-25. Forlizzi gets the pass and then wisely slows it down. Under 4 minutes left in the first half. Symes. Forlizzi thought about the 3 and brings it back down. Now in the corner, this is Colora, short jumper, good.
Never give him the baseline is what they say, and Colora that time had a free pedestrian walk along the baseline.
29-25. Fatula inside Wills, back to Mark, pull-up jumper, yes.
His first 2 points of the night.
29-27. Colora over to Symes, puts it up off the glass and in. What a move.
That's a nice move along the baseline from Matt Symes.
Back to a 4-point lead as Blair Ramos will take the jumper. No good. Symes with the rebound. Leahy back to Symes, jumper off the rim. Colora with the rebound. He'll take the baseline, Jay. No good. Arnold with the rebound.
Well, just beating up the Whalers now on the backboards. 2, 3 opportunities on every time down court.
33-27. Biggest lead of the ball game for St. John's Prep. Wills for 2.
Gerald Wills is keeping the Whalers in the game. He's done a great job since coming off the bench.
33-29. Signs from inside the three-point line, hits the bucket.
Scored by Matt Symes.
Well, we heard they were a good shooting team, and they're not disappointing us on that level.
35-29. Jared Ramos off the glass and in.
That's a pretty move. When Jared Ramos wants to take you off the dribble, and he really wants to go for it, he's very, very difficult to contain.
We approach the 2-minute mark of the first half. St. John's Prep with a 4-point lead. Forlizzi, got it.
The field goal scored by Matt Forlizzi.
7 points now for Matt Forlizzi.
37-31. Fatula will take a 3, no good, tipped up, and Symes comes down with the rebound. Minute and a half to go in the first half. Colora has the ball blocked. Symes gets it back. St. John's Prep really disciplined here in the first half. Leahy drives, has it blocked, gets his own rebound, is hemmed in. Ball still on the floor. Who's got it? New Bedford.
Belongs to the Whalers that time as Leahy went in with the big boys, thought he had an opportunity to lay it up and found himself scrapping around on the floor trying to pick up the basketball.
Campini re-enters the ball game for New Bedford, as does Anthony Ford for St. John's Prep.
Well, with 1:14 to go, this entire first half has been a St. John's Prep half. Half-court basketball, walk it up court, and the crowd here at New Bedford seeing something a little unusual as the Whalers have played half-court basketball for about 3/4 of the first half.
Jared Ramos hits a three. And it's a 3-point lead with under a minute to go.
10 points now for Ramos.
Arnold puts it up, no good. They're gonna call an offensive foul.
Yeah, he kind of fended off the defender with his left arm as he went in for the layup off the glass. A little bit too hot, but stuck that left arm out.
Coach Letard talking to the referee about the call. He's not going to win.
Now, Coach Letard, tuck that shirt in, Coach. Come on, that's a bad example now. Get that shirt sticking out the sweater in the back.
Sort of like Pete Carrill after he wears a sweater and gets all into the game, the former Princeton coach. Campini hits a jumper from inside the arc. Whalers have scored the last 5 points and are down by a point. And they steal it away. Whalers retake the lead.
There you go. There's that pressure defense now coming up with a couple of baskets.
Timeout, St. John's Prep with 23.7 seconds left to go here in the first half.
Keith, that's a great timeout by Coach Dan Letard. You know, 23 seconds left in the half. Most
Right.
coaches would just let it go and say, let's get into the locker room and talk about it. His team goes down by a point after being up by 6 and immediately calls a timeout to make sure that he stops the tempo, make sure he controls the tempo of the game and doesn't let New Bedford get into a roll on the defensive side, creating turnovers. Just a great timeout.
Our next New Bedford Educational Access telecast will be next week. Got a doubleheader next week, 2 games in 1 week. On Tuesday night, the 26th, will be at the Bears Den as the New Bedford Voctech Bears will take on the Bourne Canalmen at that time. And then a week from Friday on the 29th, we'll be here at the Beardsworth Gonzalez Gym as the Whalers will take on the South Boston team. And that should be a good matchup as well.
Yeah, it should be a good one. South Boston always comes in here loaded for bear, ready to play. Usually a pretty good basketball squad.
The Lady Whalers host the Lady Boxers in the Big Three.
23.7 seconds left. The Whalers have scored the last 7 points to take a 1-point lead. St. John's has the basketball.
They've done it with defensive pressure. They got to dig in here for 23 seconds and play some defense. Go into the locker room with a lead.
Arnold has it now, Leahy. Under 15 seconds left. Ford, Arnold for Lizzie. 5 seconds left. Leahy for 3. Got it!
Oh, cool as a cucumber.
At the buzzer! No. And here comes the basketball. Nice catch, Bernie.
It's mine.
You keep it. My ball, I'm going home. We are at the half here at the Beardsworth Gonzalez Gym. It's been a good first half with the score of the St. John's Prep Eagles 40 and the New Bedford Whalers 38. We'll take a timeout and have our second half coming up in just a moment.
Statistics show that the average person over a lifetime has 75,302 dreams, 3.8 surprise parties, 563 pairs of socks, and 8.6 different jobs. Is educated by 39.7 teachers, laughs 1.5 million times, finds $8.15 in the sofa, tries 12 different hairstyles, plays 6.4 sports, and owns 3.5 pets. But the average person only has one life, so why mess it up with drugs? A message of 29.3 seconds from a drug-free Navy and Marine Corps.
Welcome back to the Beardsworth Gonzalez Gym at the half. Keith Tebow and Bernie Picanisco with the Whalers trailing the St. John's Prep Eagles by a score of 40-38, and it was actually a St. John's type of first half in terms of the tempo.
No question about it. They like to play half-court basketball, and they got exactly what they wanted, and they have the lead here 40-38. we look at the scoring for you, Ryan Leahy leading the St. John's Prep Eagles at 9 points, 8 points for Matt Symes, 7 points for Matt Forlisi here in the first half, 5 points for Ryan Riley, 3 points for Anthony Ford, and 2 points for Mark Kalura, 6 points for Dustin Arnold off the bench for a total of 40. The Whalers got some fine play from Gerald Wills off the bench to score 10 points. He was perfect on the half, 3 for 3 from the floor, 4 for 4 from the foul line for 10 points. Jared Ramos also had 10. Dante Bellistracci had 9, getting most of those early in the first half. And then 4 points from Blair Ramos, 2 points from Anthony Campini, 2 points from Mark Fatula, and 1 point for Isaiah Houtman. If there's any disappointment in the first half, it would be Isaiah being held to just 1 free throw.
St. John's Prep will get the ball to start our second half with a 2-point lead.
Talk about a good shooting team. They came in with that reputation. St. John's Prep shot 17 of 26 from the floor in the first half. Whalers were 14 of 31.
Ball knocked out of bounds. St. John's Prep, both teams out with their starters. Kalura for Lizzie. Actually, Arnold is in for St. John's Prep, replacing Ryan Riley. And Symes and Leahy for St. John's Prep. For the Whalers, it's Jared Ramos, Blair Ramos, Mark Fatula, Isaiah Houtman, and Dante Bellistracci as Fatula makes the steal and can't make the bucket. But Jared Ramos strips the ball away, and Leahy comes up with it.
Well, that's just bad luck there. Fatula did everything right, except the ball just wouldn't go down.
Must have put the lid back on at halftime. Shot up by Kalura is no good. Outlet pass. Here come the Whalers. Isaiah Houtman, Dante Bellistracci. He can't make the basket, but Arnold tips it in.
Closest man of the basketball that time was Isaiah, so he'll get credit for it.
Jared Ramos drives, and it's 4 straight points for the Whalers to begin the second half.
Good defense, and the steal there off the full court pressure defense by the Whalers turned into a basket.
Whalers now with a 2-point lead, 42-40. Leahy swatted away by Blair Ramos to Fatula.
Oh, what a great play.
Dante back the other way, no good. Tipped up by Jared Ramos, no good. Dante gets it again.
Oh, you got to make that basket.
And right away, the Eagles call a timeout. Whalers on a 6-0 run to begin the second half, have a 4-point lead.
Yeah, and they've come out playing their game now to start this half, coming out with the pressure defense. They come down court and get the quick basket to start the half, and then go right into that pressing defense and come up with a couple of quick hoops, a couple of turnovers, and that's the kind of basketball you want to play. You want to play that Whaler game and force and create.
And another smart timeout by Coach Latard, as he doesn't want this to get out of hand too early.
He's not going to let the tempo get away from him if he can help it, but of course, he only has so many timeouts in the course of a game. So if the Whalers can continue their defensive pressure, that's going to be a big part of their winning here tonight. One thing that really does bother me when watching the Whalers play is I've been noticing Eddie's teams have been really, famous over the years for really going hard at the basketball on the defensive end, and then whatever's left over, they play with the offensive side of the game. But it seems that from watching them tonight, they're really concentrating more on the offensive side and not busting all out on defense the way they normally do.
St. John's has the ball. We've played just a little over a minute here in the second half. The Whalers have scored 6 straight points, and they steal the ball again. Jared Ramos back in the lane, up, gets the roll.
Jared Ramos now with 14 points, 2 quick buckets here in the second half, and they go right back to that full court pressure defense. Press the ball. There you go.
And they steal it. Fatula gets it. 10-0 run for the Whalers. And they're up by 8, their biggest lead of the ball game.
Keep the pressure on now. Keep the pressure on. You've got them running here. Come on.
Double team for Lizzie, out of bounds. It will stay with the Prep.
That's off of Isaiah Houtman, who did a good job of coming over to help out on the double team with Dante.
And St. John's has to get the ball in. And the referees are going to talk something over.
Coach Roderick's talking to one of the officials, and now he's going over to talk to the other official. We didn't get their names before the game, unfortunately.
As they're going to straighten things out, hopefully. And
And the taller official is now talking to Coach Rogers. Doesn't look too happy about it.
All right, either way, nothing seems to have changed as St. John's Prep gets it in for Lizzie. Arnold, now they break the press to Symes. He's going to take the shot for 3, and he hits it.
It's Matt Symes hitting the three-pointer, 11 points on the game.
48-43. Whalers up by 5. They're going to say it's a 2-point, so it's 48-42. Isaiah. Mark Fatula looks inside. He will take a 3 off the rim, no good. Kalora with the rebound. They got the numbers. This is Leahy behind the back pass to Symes, is knocked out of bounds.
A little fancy pass that time by Leahy in traffic, trying to go behind his back.
They're gonna call a foul on that play. Referee went to the scores there, but I guess not.
No, I think he just wanted to tell him it was out of bounds, no foul.
Symes for 3 again. Off the rim, no good. Jared Ramos with the rebound. Outlet pass to Dante is too far, and Leahy comes up with it. Whalers with a 6-point lead. Symes has it blocked by Blair Ramos. And the Whalers come back the other way. 2-on-1, Isaiah to Jared, and 2.
Good look that time by Isaiah, dishing it off to Jared Ramos coming down the right side. Great block by Blair Ramos.
Stolen by Fatula. Dante gets it, and he is fouled.
All right, now they're clicking on the defensive end. You see Coach Parker pointing a finger at Fatula, saying, "You the man, Mark, you the man."
A personal foul has been charged to St. John's Prep.
Matt Forlizzi with the foul, and St. John's Prep asks for another timeout as the Whalers have come out here in this second half and have done a job outscoring St. John's Prep 14-2, and they have their biggest lead right now at 10 at 52-42.
Well, and they're also doing it off the defensive end, as we talked about. The first half was definitely St. John's Prep pace, and they played that half-court game. They kind of dragged New Bedford into a very lethargic game, but in the second half, they've come out to play some defense. They're working hard on the defensive end. Fatula's just playing the passing lanes extremely smart, coming up with some steals, and it's led to the Whalers being able to come down and make 6 baskets in 9 attempts from the floor, and that's after shooting it for 14 for 31 in the first half. So, I mean, much of this offense that New Bedford generates in the course of a game comes off the defensive side, Keith, and when they bust their butts and play defense, then they score points.
And since about the 1-minute mark of the first half, when the Whalers went on a 7-0 run, they have now went on a 21-5 run since that time. And they actually had the lead late in the half until Leahy hit a 3 before the half. So the Whalers have actually controlled the play for the past about 3 minutes of this ball game, 4 minutes. Dante cannot complete the 3-point play, so it's 52-42 with 13 minutes to go. Leahy inside Symes, he's double teamed. Has the ball nearly stolen away, it's on the floor. Who's got it? Still on the floor. And Fatula has it over to Blair Ramos. They're going to call traveling on the Whalers.
Well, they're going to call Blair Ramos for taking the baby step, but let's give Mark Fatula a lot of credit. Get down there on the floor, get those floor burns, create something on the defensive end. Another turnover.
St. John's Prep looking to get back into the ball game. Forlizzi has it. They swing it around Kalora. Cross court Forlizzi for 3. Yes.
Boy, he's a good shooter. 10 points on the night for Matt Forlizzi.
52-45. Dante reverse layup.
Dante with the dipsy-do under the hoop.
54-45. Quickly, the Whalers double team the man with the basketball. Forlizzi. Now Leahy breaks the press. They get over the timeline. Bounce pass to Arnold. Puts it up off the glass and in.
Leahy created that. Dustin Arnold opened under the basket, but boy, Leahy drew the defense to him and laid off a nice little bounce pass. Very smart little point guard.
Whalers have a 7-point lead. Cutting inside is Jared Ramos, and he is fouled on the way through.
Ramos trying to use his quickness off the pass that time to get to the hoop. Among the trees, though.
Dustin Arnold called with the foul. Jared Ramos will shoot 2 free throws.
Don't you just once want to call him Dustin Hoffman?
Well, Dustin, yeah, he came close. Ramos makes his first.
For the Eagles, number 43, Ryan Riley.
Ryan Riley back in the ball game.
Not that he looks like Dustin Hoffman. He's probably about a foot taller than Dustin Hoffman.
And Signs will sit out.
You just don't meet that many Dustins in your lifetime.
No. And can't make the second. And Riley comes down with the rebound. 8-point lead for the Whalers. 55-47.
17 points for Jared Ramos.
For Lizzie in the corner, drives baseline, tries to dish it inside, and it is stolen away by Mark Fatula. Bounce pass, Blair Ramos. Traveled.
Well, another traveling violation called against Blair Ramos. Eddie Rodrigues getting up and yelling out 6-6, three-quarter court press. Let it get into the zone and then trap.
And St. John's breaks the press. This is Colora. Looks to pass inside, stripped away by Blair Ramos. Mark Fatula has it for New Bedford. Over to Blair. Blair drives baseline, hemmed in. Dishes it back out, and it's stolen away by Colora, who loses it out of bounds, and it's going to go to the Whalers.
Well, they matched turnovers there. Turnover, 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 3 in a row. And that time you saw Blair Ramos trying to be a guard, getting hung up in the air, not being able to do much with the basketball.
Whalers with an 8-point lead, 11:05 left here in the second half. Blair Ramos inside the paint, and he hits the bucket.
6 points on the night for Blair.
Back to a 10-point lead, 57-47. Biggest lead of the ball game. Colora comes back the other way and hits the bank shot.
Straight to the basket that time, no hesitation.
Ball knocked out of bounds. It will stay with New Bedford.
You gotta love Ryan Leahy getting all fired up over there, yelling to his teammates, come on, sprint!
The big guys are saying, hey, it ain't that easy.
Yeah, he's 5'9".
Yeah. But he'll probably shoot back. I gotta take more steps than you two. Fatula with the ball up high. Isaiah will take a three, no good. Tipped up and taken by Ryan Riley. St. John's down by 8 with the basketball. We're gonna call foul away from the ball. It's gonna be on Jared Ramos.
Now Ramos was cutting through that time and looked like number 43, Ryan Riley, set a pretty hard pick on him, and he decided it was time to throw an elbow back.
Aaron Campini enters the ball game for the Whalers, as does Anthony Ford for the Eagles. Colora inside, Arnold, no. Riley had the rebound on the floor. Arnold gets it back, and double dribble.
Well, another turnover is Dustin Arnold. Tried to do too much that time, took the shot, got the rebound, tried to dribble with it, and finally turned it over.
10 minutes even left here in the second half. Whalers have the basketball. Lob pass inside to Balistracci is stolen away by Riley. And Leahy comes back the other way, has the ball tipped and stripped. Blair Ramos has it for the Whalers. Dante all alone for two.
Oh, Dante was going to go up there and yoke it, just jam it into the rim, but I think that's about as high as he can get up.
Thought better of it. Arnold comes back, puts a little baby hook shot off the glass. 59-51. Campini for three, off the rim, no good. And Riley pulls it down.
I don't know if you've noticed, Keith, but since Riley's come into the game, he's controlling the glass right now. That's 4 rebounds in a row for Riley.
Colora, no good. And the Whalers losing out of bounds as Isaiah Houtman lost concentration on the rebound.
Riley is a big rebounding presence for this team. He was out of the game for a long time with foul trouble, but since he's come back in, he's just been controlling the backboards.
Symes re-enters the ball game for Dustin Arnold for the Eagles. Leahy inside Riley, loses it, Balistracci has it. Campini, long outlet pass to Jared Ramos. It won't go. Blair Ramos with the rebound.
Just a great move, using his body to shield the defensive pressure. Now they do that pressure defense thing.
And the Eagles bring it over the timeline. pass alley-oop to Symes goes awry, and the Whalers come back the other way. Jared Ramos off the glass, it won't go, but Anthony Ford will be called with the foul.
Well, Ramos is fearless. I mean, he doesn't care how big the guy is in there. He knows he can jump. He knows he's got a quickness advantage, and he just takes it right to the backboard every time.
Jared Ramos will be on the line to shoot 2. The Whalers have their biggest lead. It's 10. Now it's 11.
20 points now for Jared Ramos. 10 in the first half, 10 here in the second half.
Gerald Wills, who scored 10 points in the first half, is back in the ball game for the Whalers as Blair Ramos takes a breather.
And again, you hear Coach Roderick yell out 6-6. Well, that only works if there's a made basket here.
62-51. Whalers up by 11, 8.5 minutes to go. For Lizzie in the corner now to Symes. And they look to swing it around. For Laura up high. Inside Symes. Can't make the bucket. Campini with the rebound, but he throws it away to Colora. Colora comes back. Finger roll for 2.
Yeah, nice little move that time by Mark Colora.
62-53, and Jared Ramos is fouled down the other end.
Jared didn't like the fact that Colora grabbed him around the waist, but Colora was just trying to stop him from going into the wall.
They're going to call it an intentional foul.
Yeah. Looked like he was just trying to prevent Jared from getting injured.
But the referee saw it the other way. So Ramos will shoot 2, and the Whalers will get the basketball.
Colora's thinking to himself, well, next time I'll let him knock his head out against the wall.
Didn't do me any good. Makes the first free throw. And makes them both.
22 points now for Jared Ramos.
64-53.
12 of those 22 coming here in the second half, and still has 8 minutes and 2 seconds left to play in the game.
And the Whalers will get the basketball under the basket. The baseline. Campini gets it up high. They swing it around. Jared for 3. He's had the hot hand, and he hits again.
He's feeling it right now.
Biggest lead of the ball game. 14 points for the Whalers, 67-53.
All right, Whalers going into that pressure now, trying to double team the ball, but didn't work.
Symes comes back. Check that, Riley comes back with the bucket.
Ryan Riley, 7 points. First bucket in the second half.
67-55. J.D. Roderick's asking for motion, and the team complies. Ramos keeps it from going out of bounds. Inside Isaiah, turnaround Jay, good.
Isaiah with his second bucket of the second half.
14-point lead for the Whalers. 69-55. Symes has a man. It's Leahy, but he throws it away. But it's stolen back by Colora. Inside Symes. And Gerald Wills with the foul. Second team foul on the Whalers here in the second half.
Whalers don't seem to be as quick defensively getting to the passing lanes when Mark Fatula's not in the game. Seems like he's the guy that really keyed the team in the beginning of the second half, coming in and playing the lane so well and coming up with all those steals.
With 7 minutes left to go in the second half, the Whalers call a timeout with a 14-point lead. And what a difference a half makes, Bernie, as the Eagles controlled the tempo in the first half, and it showed with them having a 2-point lead at the break, and then the Whalers have just turned it around here in the second.
Yeah, Whalers are just playing New Bedford basketball in the second half. They busted their butts a little bit in the early part of the second half to go out there and play that hard-nosed defense. And as I said a moment ago, Mark Fatula just keyed that whole defensive attack, coming in and playing the passing lane so well and coming up with the steals. And that put New Bedford in a position to score some points and get some quick layups. And of course that helps the shooting percentages, but more than anything else, it demoralizes the other team. And as hard as Coach Latat has tried to control the tempo of this game, when the Whalers are doing their thing, it's not going to happen.
As we said, our next game will be next week. We've got 2 games next week coming up here on New Bedford Educational Access Television. As will be at the Bears Den at Voc Tech. Bears will take on South Coast Conference rival Bourne. And then in about a week, we'll be back here at the Beardsworth Gonzalez Gym as the Whalers take on South Boston. And I believe South Boston and New Bedford are the only multiple state champions in the 1990s. I believe
In the
that's correct.
90s?
The 90s have won more than one state championship. As Symes rattles the first one home.
Symes now with 11 points, and he's had a quiet kind of game, although he does play a lot better when Riley's in the game.
And Riley is in the game. He misses the second. 69-56.
Seems like he's able to float more and doesn't have to have the responsibilities of rebounding when Riley's in there.
Campini has the basketball. They swing it around. Jared Ramos, travel.
Oh my.
For the Eagles, number 44. Dustin
Well,
Arnold.
sometimes it's hard to imagine that he really is that quick, I guess.
Replacing Matt Symes.
Kalura nearly traveled right in front of us. As he has trouble holding on to the basketball. Riley inside, gets the bucket.
An Eagle field goal scored by Ryan Riley.
69-58. 11-point Whaler lead. 6:20 left. Houtman with the basketball. In the corner now for Blair Ramos. He gets it back, will take a three. No good. They go for the basketball. It's going to stay with the Whalers as both Riley and Kalura went up for the basketball, and neither one could come up with it.
Wills boxed out that time. I thought they were going to call him for over the back because he tried to swat the ball back.
In the corner, Ramos now inside Gerald Wills, and they poke it away. Kalura comes back. Alley-oop pass inside to Arnold, off the glass and in.
Dustin Arnold shooting that from his waist.
5 straight points now for the Eagles, and they've cut it to within 10. It's actually a 9-point Whaler lead.
12 points for Dustin Arnold.
Dante passes up the three. Isaiah will take it, and it's going to be short as it's partially blocked, but Dante gets the rebound. It won't go. Arnold comes down with it, and the Eagles can cut it further. Ball on the floor. Arnold gets it back to Leahy. And Jared Ramos strips him. And they're going to call a foul on Leahy.
Well, this team is not going to quit. You can see St. John's is a scrappy team, and they've won, as we said. The record coming in is 7-1. They lost their opening game of the year to Central Catholic by about 19 points, and after that, they've rattled off 7 straight wins, and they've done it against some pretty good teams, so they're not going to quit, that's for sure.
And that's the common opponent between these two clubs, as the Whalers defeated Central Catholic a couple weeks ago in an exciting contest at the buzzer, 69-68. Isaiah will take a three and hit it.
Isaiah getting hot here, had only 1 point in the first half, and he's scored a total of 7 here in the second.
72-60. Leahy comes back, is hit hard by Blair Ramos. Talk about a mismatch, but I'll tell you, a lot of point guards we've seen this year, Bernie, go up against some bigger guys. They're not afraid to go up.
Yeah, he's a scrappy player. You got to like this kid, Ryan Leahy. He's a senior, 5'9", 150-pound point guard.
Makes his first free throw.
Well, I must say he looks like a little bit more than 150 pounds.
Either that or he's shorter than what
That
is
could be
listed.
too, sure. He has a total of 10 points.
Lefty makes them both. 72-62, 10-point Whaler lead. 5 minutes to go. Petula, now Isaiah Houtman. Back to Mark. Whalers have their starters in there. Jared Ramos in the corner to Dante, inside to Blair Ramos, and he's fouled from behind by Riley, and that's going to be his 4th foul.
Yeah, that's been Riley's problem. He's been in foul trouble for most of this game. Good ball player. Certainly when he's in there, he's made a difference off the backboard and helping out Symes, but he's got to be able to play.
Jared Ramos wide open for 3. It won't go. Ball is tipped up and taken down by Symes. Little pass inside. Riley turnaround jumper blocked by Blair Ramos, and they're going to call a foul.
Well, Coach Rogers can't believe that one. Throws his arms up in disgust.
Well, I think I'd have to agree. That's questionable. He may have gotten part of the arm, and that's what the referee says happened. And Riley will be on the line to shoot 2.
Might have got him with the body, although the block looked like a clean block.
Riley misses the first free throw. Whalers have 4 team fouls here in the second half, while the Prep has 6. So the Whalers are going to be shooting free throws the rest of the way for the remaining 4 minutes and 27 seconds. Misses them both. Dante with the rebound. Isaiah on the left wing. Cuts it back inside, has it stolen away by Leahy.
Nice little move there, protecting the basketball with his body and watching Fatula go by him. Now he's going to pressure him in the backcourt. He's like a one-man full-court press.
72-64. Fatula. Blair Ramos from outside. Yes!
Oh,
Big man with a shot from outside.
shades of Jerry Lucas.
74-64. Stolen back by Jared Ramos. And he puts it up and in.
I can see Blair Ramos, as the ball is thrown away, I can see Blair Ramos right now watching this and saying to his dad, who the heck is Jerry Lucas?
That's going to bring up Willis Reed, too. He used to be a big man who had a good touch from outside.
Hall of Famer Jerry Lucas played with Ohio State and then again with the Cincinnati Royals and the New York Knickerbockers, and he was famous for those long push shots.
Wasn't he a teammate of Havlicek?
John Havlicek and Larry Siegfried all played together at Ohio State.
And now that we've just tuned the high school crowd, they've just turned the channel. Whalers come back, and Dante with a short hook. And another timeout called by St. John's Prep. The Whalers on another mini run. They have their 14-point lead back, 78-64.
And once again, keyed by the defensive pressure that's out there now, making some difference in this game. In the first half, they never really got to the point where they could get into that defensive pressure. The tempo was all St. John's Prep, and you could see it. They looked very lethargic. You were talking about how they had looked lethargic against the other teams that you saw them play against earlier in the week. And at the same time, sometimes what can happen is that you can actually fall asleep out there playing that half-court game, especially if you're a greyhound and you like to run. All of a sudden, you find yourself in a poodle contest.
I like that. Greyhound in the poodle contest. Can I write that down?
Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you. Whalers have actually had it their way here in the second half as they have the 14-point lead. That's the biggest of the ball game. They had it earlier in this half at 67-53 and also 69-55.
And you just saw one of the most athletic things you're ever going to see. It always amazes me when the cheerleaders go out there and they throw some young lady up in the air about 15 feet, and she's secure enough to know that they're going to catch her. I don't get it. How can you be that secure?
Trust. That's trust.
That's real trust.
St. John's comes back. They need a lot of points in a hurry. Pass inside Symes. Has it blocked by Balistracci. And Dante's going to be called with the foul.
Well, Dante's a little bit bigger and stronger than Symes is. Symes is more of a jump shooter. And Dante's got that bulk over there. So as soon as he gets anywhere near Symes, they're going to blow that whistle.
Symes on the line for 2 shots. Very short on the first.
Symes is 6'7".
We don't have a poundage.
Well, he weighs 205 pounds is what
Okay.
they say. As we said earlier, 1,000-point scorer.
And he makes 1 of 2.
The reason they call him soft, Keith, is, for example, in his last game, 3 offensive rebounds, 6'7".
Traveling violation against the Whalers, and that's a turnover.
Yeah, that's a great job of acting, too, by young Ryan Leahy.
For Lizzie, passes up to 3. Leahy's gonna try a 3. No good. Blair Ramos with the rebound. Whalers in the front court. Fatula, Isaiah, finger roll, won't go. Dante tips it up, but Arnold comes down with the rebound, but it's stolen away by Fatula. Over to Dante, and he's stripped by Leahy. Gets up and gets it to for Lizzie. Pull-up jumper, yes.
Yep. Matt Forlisi, I'll tell you what, he hasn't missed a shot tonight.
78-67. Ball knocked out of bounds.
12 points, and he's been perfect from the floor all night. I mean, the coach calls this kid his favorite player, says he likes him because he's so solid and he's so basic, and he hasn't disappointed there.
And Symes hits a three. Under 10 points again. It's an 8-point Whaler lead.
Don't go away.
78-70. Dante. Pass underneath is stolen away. And stolen back by Balistracci, who puts an off-balance shot up and in. Ball knocked out of bounds.
Well, as that ball goes out of bounds, Dante with 19 points, and I'll tell you what, you can point to a lot of things and talk about Jared Ramos' quickness, the leaping ability of Blair Ramos, and the defensive ability of Mark Fatula, the shooting of Isaiah Hauptman. And then when you say Dante Balistracci, the only word that comes into play is the will to win. He's got an incredible will to win, just doesn't want to get beat out there in anything he plays. And I'll tell you what, underneath that chest cavity, there's a tremendous amount of thing called heart.
And the Whalers have called timeout. 2 minutes and 7 seconds left to go here in the second half. And the Whalers have a 10-point lead. And I'll tell you, the St. John's Prep Eagles, they haven't packed it in, despite the fact that they've pretty much had a bad day, as on their way to New Bedford, their bus broke down, and they got here real late. The game started about an hour late, almost an hour late. And St. John's Prep will get home late tonight, and not been a good night for the Prep.
Yeah, we haven't mentioned this at all because we're doing the varsity game here, but I mean, think about the poor JVs. They got out of school today, probably had a pile of homework to do at St. John's Prep, and got on a bus, came down here to play a 10-minute first half, 10-minute second half, take a shower, your game's over.
Let's hope none of those kids have tests tomorrow morning.
I think 3 of them are Rhodes Scholars, and 2 of the kids probably wrote the books that they're using.
Oh, so there won't be any problem then. Arnold gets the ball. Symes for 3 again, no good. Tipped up out of bounds. It's going to go over to the Whalers. Isaiah Hauptman inbounds the ball, and now the Prep will press, and the Whalers are forced to call a timeout.
Now, Coach Roderick's not happy about that at all. He's going over to talk to one of the officials.
And referee is talking things over, and the Whalers call timeout. 2 minutes left.
All right, now let's watch this, because this is pretty athletic stuff. I hope our cameras are getting a good shot of this right now. Here, these are the cheerleaders. Now watch, they're going to throw somebody around before this chant is over with. Watch.
Before they're done.
Before they're done, someone gets tossed around like a rag doll. Here we go.
4 of them, 5 of them.
Put them up there on top of the shoulders. Now watch this. Now just go ahead, throw them up in the air. Oh, no, that was an easy one. All right, that one, all right, well, that's still fine. It's a good athletic move, but kind of an easy one. I was kind of waiting for one where they throw them way up in the air. You ever go to a college basketball game over at
college football
Providence, Providence College? And I mean, they used to throw these people up in the air about a good 30, 40 feet in the air and catch them. And I just can't figure out how you can trust that somebody's going to catch you.
Practice, practice, practice.
How do you practice that?
I think you only make one mistake.
I was going to say.
Blair Ramos comes back for the Whalers. They're cutting Jared Ramos, now Fatula, and the Whalers will eat some clock. And Leahy is fouled. Rather, Fatula is fouled by Leahy.
Now, Leahy isn't going to make it an easy foul either. He fouled him at least 3 times in that one foul.
So Fatula will go to the line, and Whalers are in the bonus. Meantime, on the other side, the Whalers still have 1 foul to give.
1+1.
No good. Leahy comes down with the rebound. Comes back, bounce pass to Colora. Long 3, and he's got it!
And he calls timeout immediately, Keith.
So we have a 7-point ball game. We're not done yet. Minute 39 left to go.
Now, Whalers got to keep their focus, and the timeout called immediately by Kalura after he had thrown that 3-pointer up from, as you say, way downtown.
We're gonna see what the cheerleaders do now. Let's see.
Well, I don't know if they're into that throwing mode, though. I mean, one of the cheerleaders got a brace on her leg.
I think they do when there's more than one person doing the throwing.
All right, here we go.
See, we got.
Okay, you got 3 of them up in the air now. All right, we're going to do a little toss here now.
I think she's just going to
No,
fall.
no, this one's just going to be a fall. Oh, no, okay, all right.
That's still very dangerous.
Yeah, a little backdrop into the arms of the other 3 cheerleaders. And like I said, when you practice that, I just wonder, you know, I just wonder what goes on in your head. I mean, like you say, you make one mistake and you're out for the season.
Now, if we had a super slow-mo, we could have shown that in slow motion, but we don't have our slow motion capabilities tonight.
There's a thought.
So now that we've killed some time, the Whalers will get the basketball. And St. John's will press.
Yeah, St. John's is going to come out and press them here. They need the basketball, 139.
Hauptman gets it into Balistracci. He's double teamed, gets away to Fatula. Good job. Whalers have the numbers. Jared Ramos comes back. Offensive foul.
Well, Jared Ramos had the mismatch in terms of quickness, giving away a lot of height that time as he took it to the hoop, and he just flew right by his man, but got called with the offensive foul.
That's the 16th foul for the Whalers, so St. John's Prep down by 7, get the basketball.
Well, Coach Roderick's starting to get that nervous Nelly look on his face now, arms folded, trying to get his team to pay attention, to stay focused.
Wet spot on the floor, and referee wipes it up.
You know, when you've won like 7 or 8 games in a row and you get down to this point, you're a lot calmer. You know your team knows what to do. But when you've lost 2 in a row and you're trying to snap that losing streak, so to speak, these are the tight moments of the game. This 132 is going to seem like 132 hours.
And these are the type of games right now where Eddie Rogers may get a few extra gray hairs. Symes comes back, has it blocked. But Colora gets the rebound. Cross court Leahy, inside Dunston. No, tipped up, it won't go. Whalers get it, Mark Fatula, and he's fouled in the backcourt.
Well, Dustin Arnold that time had an opportunity to make a basket down underneath. Great touch pass down low by Ryan Leahy, but he hesitated with it. I was kind of surprised. He hesitated and he let the defense come to him.
Colora gets the foul, that's his 4th. And the Whalers are going to have to make their free throws here to ice this game, and Fatula can do so with a couple here.
I had his drink at Christmas time.
Colora?
Colora.
I don't think it's the same thing. It's not spelled the same. Fatula rattles home the first. 81-73.
5 points now for Mark.
And the Whalers have a 9-point lead. Leahy comes back, 1:10 left. Leahy drives, Symes for 3, it's gonna be off the mark. Rebound for Lizzie, puts it up and in.
He is just so solid, Keith, getting the position underneath, and you'll see him going to the press now.
82-75, and they nearly steal the ball. And they're gonna call a foul underneath on Dustin Arnold.
Coach Dan Letarte not happy with that call, and he's letting the taller official know.
To the Eagles, Dustin Arnold, that's his 4th personal foul.
That's his 4th foul, so Riley, Arnold, and Colora each have 4 fouls. 52.9 seconds left.
Isaiah Hauptman at the free throw line will be shooting 1+1.
Isaiah Hauptman will shoot a free throw. Makes the first. Whalers seem to be shooting the ball from the line a lot better, Bernie, than we saw. Remember our first game of the year where they were, well, to put it plainly, atrocious from the line.
Didn't have a good first game, that's for sure.
Isaiah makes them both.
From the foul line.
From the foul line. They won the game. 84-75.
Ford is back in the ball game, replacing Matt Forlizzi.
Anthony Ford re-enters the ball game for St. John's Prep.
Well, there's still a 3-possession game here, down by 9. 3 3-pointers could tie it up.
Leahy will take the first 3. It's going to be way off the mark. Bill Lemers with the rebound, Colora with the foul, and that's going to be all for Mark Colora.
Personal foul has been charged to the Eagles upon Colora. That is his 5th personal foul, the 10th team foul.
And that's a 10th
The
team
half
foul.
St. John's Prep.
So the Whalers will shoot 2 free throws the rest of the way.
Kalura will leave the ball game as they're telling him that it's time for him to put on his warm-up jacket and get ready for the ride home. But he finishes up the game with 9 points, 1 rebound, did a pretty good job defensively out there, and picked up all those fouls.
As the St. John's Prep team getting the time, they're using the time before they bring in a player. They allowed a minute to do so, so sort of like a timeout almost. As Coach Letarte talks to his club. As, let's see, Lizzie comes back into the ball game for the Prep. So with 42.3 seconds, right now, looks like the Whalers will snap their 2-game losing streak as they head into a big game this weekend against Jamaica, New York.
Well, I don't want to be the pessimist, but the game's not over yet. 42.3 seconds. This is a good shooting team. And you want to make sure that Blair Ramos makes at least one of these shots. Otherwise, as we said, it's 3 3-pointers, and in 42.3 seconds, I think the crowd's a little premature.
Shooting the double bonus.
Blair Ramos will shoot 2. In and out.
Ramos with 10 points in this game.
Makes 1 of 2. 10-point lead for the Whalers, 85-75. They had a lead up to 14 at a couple of junctions in the game. Leahy for 3, no. Tipped up, out of bounds. It will be with the Whalers. 30.6 seconds left.
All right, I'm feeling better
As
now.
I say, feeling a little more comfortable.
10-point lead, feeling a little better.
Isaiah Howman gets the ball in. And Fatul is fouled right away. That's going to be on Arnold, and that's going to be his 5th foul. He's done for the night.
Arnold will check out with 12 points and 8 rebounds. Did a good job of hitting the boards coming in off the bench. He's the 6'6" swing man, I guess you could call him, the man who comes off the bench and rebounds, takes the ball to the basket.
And coming into the ball game for the first time will be Jared Clark, number 24.
And swings his elbows at everybody. That's why we call him the swing man.
29 seconds left.
Fatula at the free throw line, shooting the double bonus.
There were some good swing men in the NBA. Used to do that a lot.
Oh, yeah.
Fatula hits his first free throw.
Bob Huckabee coining a new phrase. He'll be shooting the double bonus. First time I've heard that one.
Really? I've heard it before. Double bonus. Fatula cashes them in. 87-75. Whalers will improve to 9-2. St. John's Prep will drop to 8-2 as Symes hits a 3-pointer. Whalers in no big rush to pick up the basketball. For Lizzie with the foul in the backcourt on Jared Ramos.
Yeah, it's a little bit of a tough lead now for the St. John's Prep team to overcome. Kind of a bad hair day for them because they came all the way down from Danvers. As you heard us say at least 3 times, the bus broke down. They got here late. The JVs ended up playing a 10-minute first half, 10-minute second half, 20-minute basketball game, take a shower. And they got beat soundly by about 35 points. And now the Whalers come out and put a pounding on the varsity team, and it's going to be a long bus ride back to Danvers.
Yeah. Second shot, no good. Tip up by Dante won't go. Ball's on the floor. They're going to call a foul on the Whalers.
28 points for Jared Ramos.
Leahy will go on the line, shoot 1 and 1. 9.7 seconds left.
Ryan Leahy will be at the free throw line, shooting 1+1.
I'm going to talk to Bob about this 1+1 because he keeps making me think that they're going to shoot 2.
Leahy makes the first free throw. Bounce it off the backboard, no good. Rebound taken down by Balistraci, and he's fouled right away.
Leahy knowing that the the chances of coming up with a a 10-point play was slim, so he tried to bang that one off the backboard.
Matt Symes, that's going to be his third foul, as Dante, his opposite number 33, will be on the free throw line.
Either he was trying to bank it off the backboard real hot to get the rebound, or we're going to find out later that his dad makes glass backboards, and he figured we'll make the trip worthwhile. We may have lost a couple of games, but we'll try to get Dad a gig here, replacing
Make a few
the backboard.
$100. Sure, why not? Dante misses the first free throw. Have to look into the Danvers phone book and see if there's a Leahy glass. Misses both. Long pass the other way. Symes has it. He's going to take a three. No good. And that is it. As the Whalers did what they needed to do tonight to snap their two-game losing streak, and they come up and defeat the St. John's Prep Eagles 88-79. And this is a big win for the Whalers, something that they needed, Bernie, after the two straight losses.
No question, they had to snap that two-game losing streak, and they did it by putting 5 players in double figures tonight. They had 19 points from Dante, 10 points from Isaiah Halpern, 11 from Blair Ramos, along with 3 blocked shots. 28 points from Jared Ramos, who had a great second half. 10 points from Gerald Wills, all of those coming in the first half and coming off the bench. 8 points from Mark Fatula, so they almost had 6 players in double figures. If Fatula could have gotten one more bucket. Aaron Campini with a total of 2 points for the total of 88. On the other side, well, it was an 18-point night from Matt Symes, but I think that it was a kind of a soft 18 points. They had 14 points from Matt Forlisi, 12 points from Ryan Leahy, 9 points from Mark Kalura, and 9 points from Ryan Riley, who was in foul trouble most of the night. 3 points from Anthony Ford for a total of 79. Whalers came out. They played St. John's Prep basketball for the first half, and the Prep went into halftime with a 2-point lead. Came out in the second half, worked hard, played good defense, got a big boost from Mark Fatula playing the passing lanes, coming up with the steals. Jared Ramos, great second half. They played Whaler basketball, and they put it away.
Whalers improved to 9-2. The St. John Prep Eagles dropped to 8-2. These two teams will meet again later on this season as the Whalers return to St. John's February 2nd. So it'll be a good rematch up in Danvers.
Should be a good one. This is a good basketball team, St. John's Prep.
I'd like to thank our New Bedford Educational Access staff tonight, some of the students from New Bedford High School and Bob Parati's class, our producer-director tonight, Roger Robitaille, and our assistant director, Dan Cabral. So for Bernie Picanisco, I'm Keith Tebow saying so long from the Beardsworth-Gonzalves Gym. Final score once again, New Bedford 88, St. John's Prep 79. Have a good night.
That's me, 2 years ago as a YFU exchange student, living with the Katafji family, learning Japanese, and understanding another culture firsthand. It's clear that my YFU experience is a real advantage because the benefits of exchange go well beyond your YFU summer, semester, or year abroad.
In college admissions, we're looking for students who are mature, well-rounded, and who have a strong sense of where they're going. YFU can do that for you.
I saw that there were a bunch of universities that were offering scholarships to people who had been on YFU exchanges, and it helped me to get a full scholarship to one of the universities on that list.
When first I was thinking I want to be successful in the U.S., now I think in terms of the world.
It just opened my eyes to everything, and I just realized that there's so much out there, and there's so much else I want to do.
Call Youth for Understanding International Exchange at 1-800-RU-READY. Get a free brochure on exchange programs for high school students in over 30 countries around the world.
It doesn't matter who you are or where you come from in the Army National Guard. If you want to serve your country If you can spend 1 weekend a month and 2 weeks a year of intense training to be ready when your community needs you, then call 1-800-GO-GUARD. Become part of a team that will help you achieve everything you can. Join the men and women of the Army National Guard. Call 1-800-GO-GUARD.
In the Army National Guard, you can.
It is a test, not just of strength, but of the power of the mind. And if you complete the journey, you will be changed forever.